A reset button has been pressed. I am in Bangalore, specifically in Koramangala, and in every single house you see here, there is a designer, a product manager, a developer who, in the last couple of weeks, has started using this particular new tool. And a lot of them just cannot stop talking about it. This tool has the potential to completely transform the workflows of all information work out there. Personally, I've been using this tool all of this year as well, and I don't ever think I can go back to what life was before it. And I don't think I can ever go back to not using it. In fact, this tool is so powerful that a lot of people are saying, hey, I'm just never going to use Figma again to design something. Now, this is not exactly a design tool, but a lot of design teams out there are saying that they might just move away from Figma. A lot of product designers are going to be forced to transition into brand new roles, particularly because of this tool.
The AI lab that avoided the hype has suddenly found itself at the center of it.
Anthropic is one of the key AI names eyeing a potential IPO this year, and it's looking to outmaneuver big spending rivals by showing you don't need the most chips to win.
If you've been talking to some of your outlier friends, I'm talking about the folks who are designers doing crazy stuff out there. I'm talking about the developers who've always been on the edge of new technology. You know, there is this term that they've been raving about over the last couple of weeks, and that is Claude Code. The current AI model powering Claude is Opus 4.6, and what Claude Code is, it's something that you run in your terminal. It looks very much like developer vibes, but what this does is instead of just talking to an AI in an app and just kind of using it as a chat companion, using Claude Code through the terminal, you give it access to your entire computer, which means all your files. You also can connect this to your online services, things like Gmail, your calendar, and a lot more. And this gives this AI agentic capabilities. Now, this new way of working with Claude Code means you can use it as your AI assistant to send messages, to connect workflows, and to actually have agentic workflows. Now, this is a major shift. We have folks like this from the industry who've even been saying that, hey, our design team now skips over Figma entirely. Now, this is a big deal. We know for the last couple of years, Figma has been the dominant tool for product designers out there. Figma is where the design and dev collaboration happens. It's where the discovery phase happens, and it's where we design all of our UIs and then give it off to the developers. But at a lot of companies out there, this workflow is breaking. In a very viral video by the design lead at Anthropic, she talked about how you can't trust the design process anymore. And in that video, she talks about how the idea of this very particular design process, right, which has been popularized by areas like design thinking, is no longer something you can rely on, because with these new workflows, with Claude Code being a central tool, the design process is changing. And it seems to have massive, massive implications for not just designers and developers, but for all knowledge workers out there. And you don't just have to take their word for it, right? Me personally, I've been using Claude Code over the last 8 weeks or so with my team. And a lot of the things that would take, hours, sometimes days, sometimes weeks, happen way faster. To the point where now designers on my team, even the ones who've never touched a single line of code in their entire career, are now jumping into code. They're creating web pages, they're creating entire products, they're creating dashboards, they're creating visualizations, they're creating stuff for clients, they're creating stuff for personal use, they're creating stuff just to flex, all in code, despite the fact that they're not engineers and they've never written a line of code before. This is massively empowering. However, before we really move ahead, I want to really emphasize why this is so important for you. All these advancements in AI are happening super fast. Almost every single week, there is some new update that moves this industry forward. Now, this can be overwhelming, but it actually puts you in a very unique position. Imagine that we're on this journey and we're moving forward. You, as somebody who is not carrying all of this debt, things that you've learned over the past 5 to 10 years, these fixed ways of doing things and collaborating. Approaching this with that open and free mind, you can run way faster without that baggage. Now, compare this to somebody who's already been in the industry for a while. Maybe they have a bunch of experience and they're following these conventional ways of doing things. Now, they do have their hands full, and in comparison, they're going to be slower to adapt to these new changes. The fear is real. In a recent report shared by Harvard, they talked about how 65% of employed professionals feel like their job could be replaced by somebody who just knows how to use AI better. Now, this reminds me of a very classic Zen quote. And what it says is that in the beginner's mind, there are many possibilities, but in the expert's mind, there are few. Now, this classic Zen quote, those who really understand it have been able to keep up with these AI advancements and not get overwhelmed. In fact, they're at a massive advantage compared to those who don't.
Now, a lot of the fear mongering around this is the fact that Figma is dead. I don't really believe that, but let's unpack what exactly that means and why people are talking about this shift. You see, our role as product designers has been to design the product. And somewhere along the line, the gap between what we were creating and what goes out to users increased by a lot. For example, a lot of designers don't feel fully empowered in the products they're creating because it feels to them like, hey, I'm creating pictures or blueprints or like just images of what the product looks like. But then to actually see this out in the world, there's a huge gap, a lot of which requires developers to actually see it through. Outside of the specific tools, where we're headed towards is this direct form of designing, which is today, a lot of designers, how they start their process might not just be in the traditional way that they used to. What they now do is they talk to an AI assistant, whether that's within Claude Code, whether you're using something like Figma Make, which is Figma's new AI workflow. What you would do is you would talk to this companion, you would enter into something like plan mode, and you would think through what you're trying to build. Beyond that, within the first 30 minutes, rather than going through a process of low fidelity and you're slowly building towards it, you jump into this prototype where the AI designs something for you. Now, here's a key differentiator. We're not trying to one-shot the design process. At the same time, we have to take advantage of the fact that now we have a very capable AI model at our disposal. And rather than just creating pictures of products, we actually start with creating products from the very beginning. For example, this prototype that you're seeing here, it would have taken me maybe a couple of days to design this, right? It's a couple of screens. If I worked with a developer, right? There's the front end and back end side of this. To make this, they would have probably taken about 2 months, right? That includes designing this front end, getting the UI right. It involves setting up the database, the data enrichment to actually make sure all the data in here shows up properly, creating these APIs for it, adding these API routes to the UI. It's a solid amount of work. With Claude Code, I was able to create the very first prototype of this in the first 20 minutes without opening Figma at all. And then within the next 2 or 3 days, I had a fully functioning product with filters, with search, with map views, card views, with multiple pages. It's unlike anything I've seen before. Now, I've been designing for about 12 to 13 years now. I got my start designing iOS apps back in the day, around 2013. Today though, it feels like there is more and more possibilities for what I could design. I've always felt very limited by my capabilities, right? About how if I wanted to design a product, I would have to hire a team of developers to actually see this through. Today, a lot of this has flipped. You as a designer have a lot more capabilities than before. And to be very, very specific, the direction we're headed is no longer where designers create screens as pictures and PNGs in Figma. we are now expected to create full products. A lot of people say that this represents the shift of product designers becoming design engineers, where not only are you designing the product, but you're also involved in the engineering to actually bring it alive. Now, this might feel like a very opinionated take, but I personally believe over the next 6 to 8 months, most product designers are going to be forced to become design engineers. And that's a good thing because it means our roles are expanding with this new technology. But it also represents some risk for the folks who are too attached to the old way of doing things and folks who don't want to put themselves in a slightly uncomfortable position to be a beginner again and figure these new technologies out. Now, there is a timeless aspect to how products are designed. If you really look at it, there's two parts to it. The first part was building the right product, which meant research, understanding the user, understanding the problem space, and figuring out exactly what you're trying to build. The second part was getting the product right, which meant execution, getting the interactions right, and making sure it's the best implementation of the idea. Now, traditionally, the discovery process was followed by long planning cycles to align developers, align resources, to make timelines for everything. But today, the gap between these two cycles is shrinking. You can go from discovery to coming up with an idea to actually seeing the full idea executed in near perfect fidelity, all within the span of 15 to 20 minutes. You learn something, you build quickly, you refine it, and then you do it all over again. This happens multiple times a day instead of happening across many months. The cost of creating software is going down. The capability per person creating software is going up. What used to take months can now take weeks. What used to take weeks is now in a couple of days, sometimes just a couple of hours. This speed of iteration is your competitive advantage. Now, this also creates a brand new problem, which is now that it's become easier to make stuff, it democratizes access. We're going to see a lot more people, hundreds and thousands, millions of people over the next couple of weeks and months. Now, this creates a unique problem for you, which is as people catch on to the idea that building software is getting cheaper, creating prototypes is a couple of prompts away. It floods the market with more people who want to make the same thing, often competing ideas. But there is a way for you to still stand out. It's no longer enough to know how to use the tools. That's now taken for granted. What's important is you use these tools to innovate. Now, innovation isn't just some random buzzword. What I'm trying to tell you is you gotta be creative. You've gotta get really creative with your use of these tools. You are still very, very early. Very few people in the world today even know that this is possible. However, as that changes, you still have a major competitive advantage as long as you stay creative. Creativity is not just something you learn by messing around with the software. Creativity comes when you are able to observe the world around you. Right now, you might be somebody who's aiming to become a UI UX designer, while the field itself is moving towards its next iteration. You need to use this creativity to be able to take what works and find the gaps in processes as things are changing. And the more you consume, the more you are able to look at the world with your own unique perspective and lens is how you build your taste. Now, taste is your collection of references, your bar for what is amazing and what is worth achieving. And taste is usually that differentiator that separates something that is mass produced and minimal to something that has your unique signature. I've made a much longer video about taste if you want to check it out. I'll link it right here. The playing field is being leveled as we speak. Intelligence is now available on tap. Your biggest advantage is your ability to run fast, to experiment, and to keep an open mind as things are changing and not be too attached to things the way they used to be. This is one of the best times ever to be a designer, and I can't wait to see what you create. That's all for today. I hope you understood the message of this video. If you have any questions for me, drop it in the comments and we can talk about it in the videos to come. See you somewhere on the internet. Bye-bye.